Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to episode 8. Happy Saturday. Oh my gosh. It is so cold here, everybody. Oh my gosh. We didn't get none of the freezing rain or anything like that from this winter storm, but it is bitterly cold here. It's like 11 degrees. It is cold, cold, cold. We'll get started here in about 2 minutes. Let's see here. Hope everyone has had a wonderful start to the new year. It is definitely coffee time tonight. And tonight we're actually going to finish up this series that we've been doing of the all dressed up wool applique. This right here. Ooh, there we go. Okay. Cameras everywhere, everybody. Oh my gosh. But yay, this will be completed tonight. By all means, please do leave comments in the chat box because I will be answering them live tonight. Okay. Had to roll over to my ironing board and get our project off of it for tonight. And tonight's episode is all about embellishing, attaching buttons with the number 18 button attachment foot. That was a mouthful. It's a really cool foot. And oh my gosh, if you're attaching buttons with your sewing machine, you need this foot, everybody. It's a pretty cool foot. It's a good thing. Okay. See where we at. 1 more minute to go and we'll get started. Okay. Get another sip of my coffee, then I'm going to move it out of my way. And it is 6 o'clock. We will get started. This is episode 8. Oops. There we go. Episode 8 and the final episode of our all dressed up wool applique series we've been working on. Then we're going to move on to something else on the next episode that I do. I'm coming up with a new format. And hi, Phoenix. Oh, wonderful, Phoenix. Awesome. So here's where I'm at. I got started on some of it to kind of get a feel for how I wanted to do it. And I got into part of my vintage button collection. You can see them, those right there. And then there's some metal little doodads I've sewn on. Okay. Got a few more things I want to get put on up here at the top. You can see there is, I put that number 79, that's a little metal tag I hand stitched down to on that sewing machine applique. The inspiration, I'm not going to make it look exactly like this photo, but this is the inspiration right here for some of those little fun things. Okay. So what I've got sitting on my table, and it'd be better if I just switch to the other camera so I can show you what I have sitting here. I'm going to set my other camera up here on top of my 790. Okay. There we go. I'm going to swap over to that camera. There we go. Okay. So I have a bunch of goodies set out on my table here. Okay. I'm going to set this under the needle just to get it really out of my way. I got more buttons I'm going to put on and then some more metal doodads. But here are just some of the things on this piece I've got here that I'm going to be using. This is like a metal skeleton key. pretty cool. That'll be going on there. This is a little Tree of Life medallion. Oops. There we go. It's filigree. Oops. Here we go. It's probably about the size of a nickel. That'll be going on it. Here's a little metal sewing machine charm. Metal sewing machine charm. Be attaching that tonight. And this is a little metal heart that says handmade with love. It's on the end of my finger. That'll be going on there. I have a few more vintage buttons laid out. Let's see some of those. I have jars and jars and oh my gosh. I got all these buttons out of this jar right here. You can see the plethora of different vintage buttons that are in there. And let's see. I picked these up. These are just charms, but they're good for this type of a project. These are all hands. I just thought they were kind of funky and cool. And that's Hildy and Joe. Everybody, I got these cards with charms at Joann's. This is where I picked these up. This was just Tree of Life charms on a card. They're all metal. They're not plastic or anything. And then I've had these a long time. These are seashell, starfish, turtle charms. I'm probably not going to use those on it. And then these are bees and butterflies and ladybug charms. Just a bunch of things to choose from. I really like these. I got one of these on this one already. But it's this little cute distressed metal owl. Okay. Then I have some gears. Here, these are all metal. Gears. You just pick up a few more of these. A couple more. And then, I tell you, when you go in the beading jewelry section is where you want to go look for this kind of stuff. These are all metal beads, for lack of a better word. You can take them apart and use them one by one, but they make really great embellishments. There was that. The owls were actually on a long chain. Just some ideas. If you have vintage jewelry laying around, well, that's another good source. I have some of that I'm going to put on. And these are just some more metal little gear type charms that were in the jewelry section. And I just thought this was kind of cool. This is metal, as well as these different size rings that are just made together, and they could be kind of cool and funky. I don't know. Something a little different. Then I've got some threads. So this is like a heavy 6-weight Decora thread on a spool. It's really gaudy, but by itself, and I'm probably going to use some of this in it because it really will total wise go really well with what I've got. But I just pulled out a bowl of decorative threads that maybe I might want to use or might not want to use. That one would actually go well with it. Here I'm just going by color value. Excuse me. This little basket has some stuff in it as well. Let's see, oops. Here is a little container of like abalone shell buttons, different sizes. They're kind of neutral colored, which would look really good with this. Might be using some of those in it. We'll set those out. Oh, here we go. And check this out. This is a just a piece of vintage jewelry with has a pin back on it. But this might go on one. That's an owl. I love owls. Just hold that up a little bit better. That could be really cute on there. And let's see what else I got in here. Nope. Oh, there's this. This is what I was looking for. This is another pin. It's kind of like a large jeweled ladybug. Let's get this out. I have a large costume jewelry collection from over the years. This has a pearl and some white crystals on it. Check that out. We'll see. We'll play around. I'm going to leave that out. We'll play around with that. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Excuse me. What else do we have here? I have in this metal tin. I like to use metal tins to store little nits and bits and tippets in. This is just kind of cool. I don't know if I'll use this or not. I may cut it up and use it. It's just a really thin metallic netting. That's a possibility. Here's some metallic cording. This is this would equate to like a size 8 hand embroidery thread type of cording. That's just too gaudy, I think. I like this, but I don't know, it's bright. It's a silk ribbon with that would add too much color to it because there's not really a lot of color in this piece. Let's see if I have anything else in here. Any scraps? I don't know. Get that out of there. And that. But these are things I've got just laying around. I thought, well, maybe, you know, some of it might look okay, some of it might not. Okay. So let's leave that one right there. And set that right in there. Okay. So we got everything we need to get started. And then I'm actually going to put, I think, some straight pins as a decorative element into this. I just got to think which pin cushion. Let me go grab one more pin cushion. I know where it's at now. All right. Then on this magnetic pin cushion, has a few pins that are kind of funky looking, which would kind of be cool, I think. And we'll see how that goes when the time comes. But I have some of those that are decorative and all that fun stuff. Set that to the side. I still have this tin of goodies that I haven't used in anything. Let's see. If there's anything in here I might be willing to use on this project. Don't really see anything yet. Nope. I don't think there's really anything in there I want to use on this one. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to move this camera down here for the machine view. The only thread I'll be changing out for some parts of this would be my upper thread. Yep. There we go. Now you can see that buttonhole foot right here. What's great about that, there's a center bar that goes right in between the eyes of the button. That's what we're going to be doing first. Okay. But there's the owl and the little, it's like a ladybug type of insect. There we go. But first, we're going to be doing some more buttons. And all it is a tack down stitch, which is basically a zigzag stitch that goes back and forth to tack it down. I have a thread on my bobbin that matches the thread on the back of the fabric on the back of this little quilt sandwich. So, here, this is the last button that I attached. And I'm using the diagram that came with the kit kind of to act as a suggestive guide as to where to place some of this stuff. Because I don't want to get too much stuff on it and make it look gaudy or anything like that. This I'm going to have to attach by hand, unfortunately. And I only say it like that because it is not my cup of tea to do anything at all by hand. But I'd rather have it just with this. Nope. So I'm first going to grab me a needle. So I need to get this put down around this spool. This spool right here is for thread, is to be like a spool of thread. And since there's not any on there, guess what? We're going to put some pretend thread around it. We had the shop closed for a few days just to rest up and kind of unwind after the holidays, and quite honestly we haven't felt all that great. So we've just been taking it kind of easy and all that stuff and recharging our batteries for this new year and blah blah blah. That's what we've been up to. Had planned on doing some videos between Christmas and New Year's that just didn't work out. Okay. So I am not going to put a knot in this simply because I don't want a knot showing on the top of my little piece I'm working on here. Even though I could cover it up with a button. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So what I'm going to do, just going to wrap this around here a few times. So it looks like there's thread. I'm putting the needle right up underneath this wool. I'm going to run that thread underneath it. I'm going to just follow it along. Cut that. Has a little knot in it. That's why it's stopping itself right there. There we go. This is what I'm after here, is just to make it look like it has some thread wrapped around the spool. That's all. Nothing crazy. Oh. So remember, if y'all watched the first episodes of this series, you saw me hand cutting all of these wool appliques. Well, since then, after I got them all done, I thought, I might want to make another one of these or another version of this. So what I've done off camera, I've went and scanned in all my templates for this kit so that in the future I can use my scan and cut to cut out these wool appliques. There we go. Now it has some thread around it. And now, according to this picture, I'm just going to make a few loops up and through here. There's there, up here. This is like a three-dimensional element. Maybe one more big loopy, larger loopy there. Then we're going to come down and put this so it comes out of the underneath and through what would be the eye of this needle. Kind of like that. Okay. This is almost done here. Don't worry, this is going to have some metal things attached on top of it to make it look a little bit better. Just kind of looks like a tangled up mess right now. But it'll be good. It'll all be good. Okay. Okay, so there's that. Let me put my needle back into this little protective case. Okay. There's that. Then I'm just going to snip that right there. Now then, let's have some button fun. I think one of these smaller ones would look better right up there. And yes, this is where you have to be really careful and adjust the width of this zigzag so it does not hit the button. We want it to go right into the hole. Get my little green thing so I can position this button right where I want it. I'm going to use my hand wheel. It went right into the hole. That's good. Okay. And on this machine, it's stitch number 60, which is the button tack down stitch. I'm going to reduce it. Its default is 4.0 for the width. I just put it down to 3. Let's see what that does. That's good. That's good. I'm doing 2 cycles of the tack down for this. I'm just going to use my thread cutter and cut it. Now I'll slide it forward because there's a little metal flange. Not really a flange, more like a little finger that sticks out here that thread just tacked down over right and left. Just slide the whole thing towards you and it releases the button. And makes a beautiful, it does a perfect tack down stitch for a button. This doesn't get any easier or better than that. And it sure beats out of hand stitching one down, let me tell you. Okay, excuse me, so there's that. Next, right up in here, let's see. It's going to be a little sewing machine here. And a little pair of scissors tacked down like this. Okay, and I'm just going to use the same process to tack these down. However, I'm going to change to a darker upper thread so it doesn't show as strongly. And I'm actually going to use, just cut this thread. I'm actually going to use a black thread for that. Just get my thread changed. Do. Okay. The needle rethreaded. Don't knock down the camera, Richard. Here we go. Okay. That way I have this one camera perched on top of my machine. Makes an interesting concept. to actually thread the top of the upper thread system. Okay. I am using a size 90 top stitch needle in case anyone's wondering. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to tack down is this one that says Singer on it. It's like a little Singer sewing machine. It does say Singer on it right up there. And let's see. I'm going to do it like this. Put it back to its default setting of 4 for the width, 4 millimeters. I'm going to hold on to my upper thread on this one. Hold on. There we go. Let's get that repositioned. That lowered. Okay. That was one. Now we'll do another cycle. And we'll cut our thread. Slide it off. Woohoo! That turned out well. Very nice. See that right there? Then, also going to do this. I'm going to put a tack down on each one of the two handlebars, where you put your fingers in, for lack of a better word. There we go. Now, if you like to do hand sewing, this would be your opportunity to do some of that. That is not what I'm good at. So mine will be done on the machine. And I'll repeat that process here on this side. This foot, though, it has the two black rubber things you see there. Those actually hold the item down nice and tight into the fabric, whether it's a button or an embellishment, and it allows you to tack them down. Be forewarned, if you have the number 18 button attachment foot, you have no excuse not to attach buttons onto anything, because it makes it super easy to do, as you can see. Love this foot. Okay, so those are attached down. Woohoo! It looks pretty darn good. I'm happy with that. Now then, let's see what else we got on this picture that I haven't done. A key and a heart up here on this. So, How am I going to do this? Let me think here. Well, first though, and yes, see, I do need the darker color for all of this. This little tree of life emblem, I'm going to actually place right here. Of course, if you make one of these or any other item like this, you can use as many different embellishments as you want to. I have to be careful with that, or I will put a lot of stuff on, a lot of embellishments on. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm trying to go for something a little more subdued this go round. Here we go. Okay, there we go. A little tree of life emblem on there. Okay. Likey. Now then. I need to put a key. This is going to go right up in here. About right there. That little heart. Right there. Now in a perfect world, I could get both of those to line up perfectly. But you know what? I'm not that brave. So I'm first going to attach this. Ow. Right there. Then, that little heart right there, handmade with love. I'm also going to put a button up there as well. Woohoo. Let's get that off of there and get those threads trimmed. I'm going to, let's see, do I want to swap to a different thread or not? Let me think here for a moment. Let's see here. Actually, I'm going to put a metal gear, so that way I can keep my thread, the same thread colorway here, right there like that. Okay, that's good. Then this is a pin cushion, and the photo shows like they hand embroidered with black thread these little pins sticking out of it, but you know what? I'm going to use some real pins and put in it, I think. Let's see what that looks like before we commit. Let's see here. Now remember, this is just going to be a wall hanging, so it's not like you're going to get one of these pins stuck in you. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. One more. I'm one of those people, I need an odd number. Yes, I'm one of them. There we go. There we go. Oh, I like how that looks. Woohoo. Okay. So there's that. And let me see here. Do I want to muggle it up with some of this? I don't know yet. I'm thinking probably not. No. Actually, on the photo, that was the only places this had embellishment on it. But I am going to add one more piece to this. Since I already have this cute little owl right here, I'm going to use put my ladybug pin on this one. And I think she should be, there's a lot down, I think she should be up in here, maybe right there on that iron, coming off the iron. Raise this camera up so I have a little bit more room to work with my hands. There we go. What I'm doing, I'm just making sure I don't go through the back of the fabric. I've made sure I haven't done that on any of my little goodies here, where I've had to do some hand stitching or otherwise. There we go. Oh, that's lovely. I have this beautiful little buggy. Try to get it off here. There we go. Now you can see it. Check that out. That looks just adorable up there. Look at that. Okay. So I'll save this little turquoise salve for the other piece I have to do. Okay. Do I want any more stuff on here? Let me think. How would those look? Like I said, I don't want to put too much on here and make it look gaudy or anything. I'm almost to that point where any more is going to make it do that, I think. You know what? There is one place that needs something else done to it. Hold on. Let me grab these. This little piece right down here, check it out. This little hand, it just looks lonely right there. It needs something else. It needs a button. No. Or maybe a silver key with it. No. You need something. Let me see. What do I have here? It would just make it stay. Oh, let's try this. Let's just try this. This just might be too much, but I'm going to just give it a shot. If I can get me a bigger, longer piece of this, then I can trim it to size. Hi, Nanette. Oh, wonderful. Oh, I love doing that. It was, what a beautiful project, Nanette. Nanette, yes. Beautiful name, oh my gosh. Let's see here. I was just thinking maybe just a little, oh no. No. Nope, not happy with that. That's not going to work for me. Ooh, that's where that trial and error comes in. What kind of trimming is this? Where did this come from? I don't know, but it's kind of funky and I kind of like it. Let's see. Get off a good piece of this. This might be just what the doctor ordered for this one. It's kind of ravelly. I kind of like it. Just trim some of that off. A little more. I don't know. It's kind of growing on me. I don't know. I'll leave that there for right now. That can always come back off. We'll see. Oh, Nanette, the Just Flowers. Yes, I did quilt that. No, take that back. I never did get to quilt that. was showing that at one of my live workshops in Florida, and a lady in the classroom decided she had to have it. So I sold it to her. I need to make another one now because I no longer have that one. Okay, so I'm going to call this done because it has just the right flow of goodies attached to it, I think. And the more I see this little piece of ravelly thing here, the more I like it, so that is going to stay on right there. It just gives it a nice little texture-y element there. Okay. Cool beans. That one is done. Woohoo. Oh, wonderful. Yes, Danette, I tell you, the lady fell in love with it, and she was willing to pay a good price for it, so I sold it. Okay, so that one is done. Hey, it only took 8 episodes, but I did get it done. Okay, oh my goodness. So, future episodes. And I will be on here tomorrow, but I'm going to start doing something called like an open sew, because I have quite a few projects going on and that I really do need to work on. And that way I've got garments cut out. I need to start sewing together and all that kind of fun stuff. And I have some quilts I gotta do binding on. So it's just gonna call it I'm gonna call it Richard's Open Sew, and there'll be multiple episodes of that throughout the week. And more on weekends because they might be a little lengthy. I mean, some of those might be 4 hours. I'm just going to turn the camera on and sew. Okay? But it's all good. And then I have some other things in the works as well. So, that being said, let me get back over here to my other camera. Where are you at? Okay. There we go. Okay. Get this camera out of the way. But yeah, here was the inspiration for that one. I mean, that's what it is. And I did some of my own type of thing that I had. There was a lot of hand embellishment on this one. And that's just not something I do. I don't do no, I just can't do that. Not that I can't, I don't want to. Okay, so, woo-wee. Let me get a sip of my coffee here. This is one of my little dress forms here. I have what you see hanging here are Tulip Pink Renaissance ribbons. And most of these are 1 and 2 yard lengths. I've got I'm going to do some Annie's bags on camera. And that'll be some of the things you'll be seeing me working on. And I want to do it on a more open format where I'm not constricted to starting one project and finishing it all the way to live on camera because it gets a little monotonous for me. I want to be able to mix up what I'm doing. But I am going to start filming. When I say filming, it wouldn't be live, is a series. Like if it's going to be an 8 episode series, I'm just going to film it and then release it where I can edit it out in case it's something you want to follow along. We'll see how that goes. Okay. But, yay, now that we've done that, I want to show you, I'm going to get my other camera over here because I want to show you how I was using this foot. I know you probably didn't get a very good look at this foot here. Okay, let me swap to this other camera. There we go. Okay. Now this foot that I was using to attach my embellishments with, this is Bernina, of course. But here it is. This is the number 18. Gosh and golly. Here we go. The number 18 foot. That is the button attachment foot, number 18. See if it'll stand up right there. Of course not. There we go. Number 18 button attachment foot. And you see that little metal finger that sticks out right here in the middle? Your thread goes over the top of that, and that's why you have to slide the button off after it's sewed on. And it really makes a beautifully nice finish to attach in your buttons. Okay. Love this. When you go to set it up to use this, of course, first you have to select number 18, the foot you're going to attach. Then you go to the buttonhole menu and number 60. If you can see right there is the default setting, 4mm width, and there it shows the actual foot on the screen. Number 60, that's what I've used to attach all those buttons and trim with. Okay. Let's get that put back on there. Yeah, so I have 2 garments cut out that I have got to get finished. One is my new winter coat, and boy howdy, I need that. But I've also got a wedding ring quilt top quilted of mine that I need to put binding on. Let's see, what else do I have laying in there that I've cut? I've got to cut out some hats. There's some new hats I want to get made. And I have some serger things, some sergers stuff I have to work on as well. Also, I'm going to start a series of videos on mastering. I'm first going to do a mastery session on the 790 PRO. And everything you see in that, a lot of that would also apply to any of the 7 series machines. I'm also going to do a mastery class on Bernina's design software, their digitizing software, Design Plus 9. And then I'll be starting a mastery series on the 890 serger and the 990 sewing machine as well. Okay. So I have a lot of things coming up. But those would be something I would not be doing on my open sew thing. That's just going to be sewing and working on projects and things I got to get done like that. There we go. Forgot to turn the other swap over to the other camera. Okay. And let me drop this down. One thing I could do right now, well, I don't want to do that because, no. I tell you what, it was so cold this morning, my little dog, little Puffin, he went on the back porch to tinkle, and then he refused to go any further, so he did use his potty pads to go do number 2, but it's cold. We were on luckily the south of us is where they got the heavier snow and the ice, so we did not have to deal with that, thank goodness. for this winter storm that's rolling through the Midwest right now. We might actually get out of the house tomorrow. We haven't been out in several days. And go have a good Chinese dinner where we normally go up north. Okay, we'll see. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. That's all I have for you. I will see you tomorrow. I will be on here tomorrow night, and I will get that listed in the morning when I decide on my actual time. I got to see how our plans are going to run tomorrow, if we're actually going to get out of the house. If I don't get out of the house tomorrow, I'll probably start around noon tomorrow because I do have to get some sewing done. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending your time with me. I appreciate you very much. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Good night. Have a wonderful night, everybody. And stay warm. Wherever you're at, stay warm.